Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meowmix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry. I think easily our number one receiver, DJ Moore. Any questions?
No. I like DJ Moore. I think he's going to have a fine season. I wouldn't put him in the top 5 wide receivers in the league or anything, which I think some Panthers fans think he already is.
I will be interested if he takes another step. Last year he took another step. He became that number one guy. I'll be interested if he becomes that number one guy that other teams are starting to get scared of.
Yeah. Right now he's Brandon Cooks to me. Like he's 95 catches, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's what he is to me right now. I hope he's better than that. I hope he takes that, like you said, I hope he takes that next step and he becomes Steve Smith.
I mean,
he becomes, 105 catches, 1,400 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's what I want from him.
I mean, before he got injured, he was like a top 3 receiver in the league. With Kyle Allen throwing to him.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a top 3 receiver in the league.
Yeah.
What week was that?
When did he get injured? Because, he was, he was like second or third in the league in receiving yards.
He doesn't get touchdowns. That's my issue with him.
Touchdowns will come. I mean, that's just when you get thrown the ball, touchdowns will come.
He had, let's see, there was a 4-week stretch where he was pretty awesome last year. He didn't have his first 100-yard game last year until week 8. But week 8, he went 7 for 101, week 9, 9 for 120, week 10, 8 for 95, and then week 11, 6 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. Those were the only 2 touchdowns he had that whole 4-week stretch there. But that's as good as you'll find. I mean, that's a great stretch.
Yeah. I'm excited to see if he takes the next step. Like I said, he had 1,100 yards last year, 87 catches. Mm-hmm. And that's a great
almost 1,200 yards, 1,175. So
I'm hoping that next year he does another step and he gets to 1,200-1,300 yards, and touchdowns were only at 4, but like I said, eventually those will come. I think.
I hope so. I mean, they never really seem to come for Julio Jones, and he's considered one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league. So I hope we can count on DJ like in the red zone. But I guess if he becomes Julio Jones, I can't complain about that, right?
If he becomes Julio
that'd
Jones,
be okay.
First of all, I don't think he's the same type of player, but
he's not. I'm saying production wise, but one thing that he did a little less of last year that I really liked from him in 2018 was rushing. I was kind of thinking that
they kind of abandoned that for a while.
Yeah, well, he was like the top rushing wide receiver. In 2018, he had 172 rushing yards. Last year, only had 40. So they definitely went away from that. But he's got that in his skill set. Yeah. So,
all right, let's move on to the number 2 guy. This, I think, is going to be the position battle. I think it's up between Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel.
So let me tell you who the Panthers have at their depth chart right now. They have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson as the starting wide receivers, and then Curtis Samuel as a starting slot wide receiver.
And I think that's how it's going to end up.
I'd love to see that. Curtis Samuel is a perfect slot wide receiver.
I think Robbie Anderson has rules ear. I think he knows what he gets from Robbie Anderson, and Robbie Anderson's proved it in his league. He's a decent number 2 type of guy. Get you 700-800 yards, break the top off the defense type of guy. So I have no problems with that, and I think he does win out, but I think Curtis Samuel is going to make it a lot more interesting than a lot of people think. And I think Samuel will be able to be that slot, end around type of guy too.
Here's the thing, like if we're starting 3 wide receivers and Curtis Samuel's our slot guy, then we're in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Anderson's not going to be your slot guy. He's much better on the outside. He's a burner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's Ted Ginn. You know, we hope that he's the best version of Ted Ginn that the Panthers had, right? Where he's just taking the top off the defense. He's scoring 7-8 touchdowns. He's getting us a few deep touchdown passes. Now the question is can Teddy get him the ball?
Yeah.
Does Teddy have the arm strength to get it down the field to him? So I hope that's the case. But, I mean, what do you expect from Robbie Anderson this year? I mean, you said 700-800 yards. Is that kind of what you're thinking? He's just going to be just a really solid number 2?
Yeah.
Do you think he has a chance at taking over the number 1
No.
job?
No, I think DJ Moore's got that. I think DJ Moore could be something special. Right now, I think he's a solid starting receiver, but I think he could become something special. I think Robbie Anderson is a good number 2. Yeah, I said 700-800 yards. He may have a breakout year if the defense is bad, just because we're going to be passing all the time, playing catch up. Maybe break 1,000, but not much more than that.
Yeah, his best season, Robbie Anderson, was 2017. That was his second year in the league. He had 63 catches for 941 yards and 7 touchdowns. But since then, 752, 779, 5 and 6 touchdowns. So, you know, he's right there as exactly what you said, 700-800 yards. So I'd be happy with that. I mean, if he gets 750 yards and 6 touchdowns for us, I'm thrilled. That's better production than Samuel has given us in the last couple of years. So.
Yeah. And Samuel, again, going in the slot, we're going to talk about him now. I think him having the other guys around him will help him out, especially it'll free him up. I mean, last year he gave us 54 catches, 627 yards, and there for a while, there's highlight reels of wide open Curtis Samuel look like this, and Kyle Allen and Will Grier just overthrowing him. But it would have been like 5-6 touchdowns if the quarterback could get him the ball at all.
Yeah, wasn't there was a point last year, maybe midway through the season, maybe a little past midway through the season, where wasn't he the guy leading the league in
separation yards?
Separation yards, yeah. So that would be, I mean, if Teddy can get him the ball, because he's a guy that you can get the ball to, you know, fairly close to the line of scrimmage and make a lot of things happen. So he and DJ Moore are both like that. So
and Kurt, people fail to realize you called Robbie Anderson a burner. Curtis Samuel is a burner too. He had like a 4.3 even 40 time in coming out of college. He would have had the fastest time that year, but that was the year John Ross broke the record, and he actually ran, I think, 1 or 2 steps after he broke that record when he ran the 4.3 flat. So everybody was still talking about the record being broken, and nobody actually remembered him.
Yeah. Robbie Anderson's 6'3", and Curtis Samuel's 5'11", so I think Robbie Anderson, you know, we talked about kind of being that outside guy with his size and speed combination that he has is the way to go. But I think Curtis Samuel, I mean, he's I think the prototypical perfect slot receiver. And as fast as he actually is just going to make him even better. He's just got to catch the ball. He's got to have great hands.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets schemed open, and Teddy Bridgewater could get him the ball. Now,
well, that's what Joe Brady's here for, right? Is his scheme and, you know, outsmarting everybody else. So
now I want to skip the number 4 receiver because I have a couple ideas, but I want to go to Pharaoh Cooper. Pharaoh Cooper we just brought in. He's making the roster. He's going to be our return guy. He may have a chance to play 4th or 5th receiver, but more or less, this guy is going to be our return man. He's making the roster. Don't think anything much more of that.
Yeah, I do want to say, you know, before we get into these other guys, that even though the first 3 guys we talked about, Moore, Anderson, and Samuel, are solid guys, and you know, you look at that and you say, all right, this is a really good group of receivers, maybe the best group of receivers that the Panthers have had in a long time. After that, there's not much.
No, and
There's
I was
not
kind of
much.
sad we didn't keep Jarius Wright, because I think this would be a perfect spot. You would have some serious depth if you had Jarius Wright as your number 4 guy. And
Any DJ Moore, Anderson, or Samuel go down, I mean, Pharaoh Cooper Seth Roberts or DeAndre White those are the guys behind them. So
and Brandon Zylstra. I mean, he saw
Zylstra, yeah, who is basically who's the white kid that we just couldn't get rid of for years and years and years.
Flowing locks. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, terrible return man.
Brenton
Burson.
No,
yeah, Brandon Zylstra is Brenton Burson.
I think Zylstra is a little bit different. He's a bigger guy. I think he could actually play a little bit. I don't. And this is again bottom of the roster play. I don't think he's scratching the starting role ever. Even though I think he did start some reason due to injuries and stuff like that.
He had a start. I think he had 8 catches last year for us. So. Which if you'd have told me over under 5 catches for Brandon Zylstra, I probably would have said under. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, even that we're talking about Brandon Zylstra in like a real way here because it's quite possible that he will end up playing significant time for this team. If somebody goes down.
And how much I love Curtis Samuel. He's had trouble staying healthy. I mean, that's an issue.
That's his deal. I mean, last year he was healthy. Like he started 15 games last year.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel did. So, but even I know some of those games he was banged up. Like. 2018, I think he had the heart issue, so hard to ding him too much for that. But yeah, I mean, he's, Curtis Samuel, his first 2 years here, he played a total of 12 games. So hoping last year is, kind of the way forward with him, health-wise at least.
Yeah. But the rest of the guys, I mean, Ishmael Hyman, Damon Jean-Pierre, Keith Kirkwood. Keith Kirkwood has a chance of making the roster.
Yeah. Are you going to get a Hyman jersey?
I was going to say Keith Kirkwood stands a chance because he's a Temple guy. I'm just going to skip your horrible jokes, Trevante Heights.
There could be some funny calls if Hyman makes the team.
I really hope Hyman breaks out during training camp.
Hyman just got blown up. Blood everywhere. Not funny, Jerry. I can't believe you took me down that road.
Yeah, I was not going down that road. That was all you.
Yeah. I mean, outside of our top 3 guys, I do not feel good about this.
No, I think Seth Roberts is going to be the guy 4th, and Pharaoh Cooper.
But that's the thing about this whole team, right? Is there's just not a ton of depth. Like I think we have pretty solid starters across the board. Outside of tight end,
the O-line is still
outside
shaky.
of corner.
Oh, cool.
O-line is a little shaky, but overall, this team, we've got solid veteran guys or high-end rookies that are going to be starting here. Mm-hmm. But after that, there's just not much.
Yeah. No,
I mean, Cole Luke is our number 2 corner after Dante Jackson right now.
Eli Apple is.
No, Eli Apple is a starter.
And Dante Jackson is a starter.
Yeah, and Cole Luke is the second guy after Dante Jackson. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry. I thought you meant second starter. I was like, no.
No. I was saying Cole Luke, like if Dante Jackson goes down, Cole Luke is coming in for him.
That's what really worries me about this season is it's going to be a track meet where teams are just throwing all over us, and we face Tom Brady and Drew Brees and
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So,
which Matt Ryan not too scary, but he's got good receivers on that team. I mean, look at linebacker even. Shaq Thompson's our starter. He goes down, Jermaine Carter Jr. is coming in.
Yeah.
Tahir Whitehead is our starter. If he goes down, Andre Smith is coming in.
And maybe one of those guys steps up. I mean, Jermaine Carter has flashed in the past.
He's had a couple of good things. If Trey Boston goes down, guess who's coming in?
Kenny Robinson?
Quinn Blanding.
Nah, Kenny Robinson got that job.
Kenny Robinson's listed as 3rd right now. He's another guy that another rookie that I think could really factor in training camp.
Yeah, I think Kenny Robinson's. I think he has potential too. I think he kind of got shafted because he went to the XFL after some issues in college, and I think we may have gotten a steal with him.
But we'll talk about him when we go over safeties. So, I mean, overall, let me ask you this. In terms of wide receiver, our wide receiver core, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should we go after anybody else to shore up some of the depth?
This is again going to what Joe Brady wants.
Let's say you want to win as many games as you can. Let's say you want to win games.
Again, it depends on what Joe Brady... If he's really going to run 3-4 receiver sets quite often, then yes, I think we do. But if we're going to not be that wide open, then maybe not. Because
I don't think there's any way we go into the season and Pharaoh Cooper is our fourth wide receiver.
I think it's Seth Roberts, to be honest with you. I think Pharaoh Cooper...
I don't think there's any way we go into the and Seth Roberts is our fourth receiver. I think fourth receiver is TBD, not on the roster right now.
Okay.
Going to come from a cut, going to come from...
And that's why Jarius Wright should have been kept. Because I think Jarius Wright would have been...
Is Jarius Wright on a team right now? Is he still out there?
I am actually looking that up. I think he was signed with somebody. Buffalo or something? No, he's still a free agent.
Yep.
But he's 30.
Bring him back.
But he's 30 years old. You know this team is not going to sign a 30-year-old.
For one season, bring him in. We signed a Kung. I mean, we traded for him. Like, he's old. You know, in terms of a football player, he's not old. But Jarius Wright was fine last year. You know,
he struggled more last year than he did before. But at the same time, that whole roster kind of struggled, especially towards the end of the season.
You know, you're right. There's probably guys out there that are better than Jarius Wright. I mean, it's not like you need to bring a guy in that knows the scheme because we got a brand new scheme. We got a brand new coaching staff here. So it's not like him having familiarity with the roster or the scheme means anything because it means nothing now. So who are the top wide receiver free agents right now? NFL top free agents. Let's see. There's nobody.
Yeah.
Chris Hogan's still out there. Chris Hogan, Jarius Wright are two of the top four.
Yeah.
Sean Modster and Justin Hardy are listed up there. Jermaine Kearse is out there. I can see us bringing in Jermaine Kearse.
And this could be one of those things where you expect one of these undrafted guys to step up. That's...
Yeah.
Now,
Jordan Matthews. Remember Jordan Matthews?
Mm-hmm.
He's a free agent.
Now, what do you think the ceiling is for this group?
Everybody stays healthy. Obviously, it's going to depend a lot on Teddy Bridgewater and Joe Brady's scheme, but the talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see DJ Moore taking that next step and being a 1,400-yard guy. I could easily see Robbie Anderson. I could see us having 2,000-yard wide receivers on this roster. And then Curtis Samuel's a wild card. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, he could be the man that's left out, or he could step up and have 800-900 yards. And they could use him a lot in the rushing game too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, last year he was our leading wide receiver rusher. So, I think there's a very high ceiling for this team from the wide receiver core.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And then that's kind of what I was thinking too. And who knows, Samuel may benefit from having DJ and Robbie Anderson on the outside, being able to chew up those linebackers that he gets matched up with occasionally.
Yeah. If he's on the inside, on the slot, he's going to be playing against linebackers and safeties, and he's going to blow them away.
Mm-hmm.
So, not a lot of safeties or linebackers that are going to be faster than him. Yeah, I'm excited about that part of the team. I'm really excited about this offense in general.
Mm-hmm.
With Christian McCaffrey back there, a new quarterback who hopefully will stay healthy for the entire season. I think it could be really interesting and fun to watch.
Yeah. So this is going to be a new segment we do during training camp, just kind of going over position groups, kind of discussing, any battle possibilities and, what we like, what we don't like. Steven, do you have a group you want to go over next week, or?
I I think let's try to do like 2 groups a week.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do like an offense and a defense. Maybe we do. What do you think?
I say we throw it up on Twitter. We'll throw up a poll on Twitter for 4 or 5 days, and we'll see what wins. So if you want to, you can go to our Twitter account at Meowmix Podcast and vote for what we vote or go over next. We're gonna go over every position group by the end of it, even kicker for Joey Sly.
I've got some things to say.
I know you do. But as always, we want to thank everybody for listening to our show. Please let your friends know about the show if you like us. If not, just don't tell them that you hate us.
Just download.
Just download. Yeah. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbox@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show.
All right. We'll be back next week. And hopefully, if training camp actually goes off, we'll probably be back on a weekly basis until the season starts, in which case we'll be back to our regular 2 to 3 podcasts a week. So until next week, everybody, keep pounding.
Money!